I'm going to be showing you my exact appointment setting playbook that has led to $11,000 in a single day. Nothing's going to be left behind. We're going to be showing you the exact scripts, how this works. And even if you stay towards the end, I'm going to be showing you how we change outbound appointments into really an inbound conversation so that we're selling people 80% of the time they hop on a call, even if we outreach to them. And that is a really big key concept. And I'll be going over how we do that in a couple of steps here. But before we get started, I want to go over my sales commandments. All right, because this is what I'm focused on, because I like having a situation where my calendar is clean. Okay, I want to spend time with the friends, the family. I don't want to be taking sales calls all the day. So if I'm showing up to a sales call, it better be a call that I can close. And with that, number one is volume versus efficiency. I am looking for more efficiency. I want my calendar to look like this. See, I got a ton of free space going on. I have a couple book calls for the day, sales-wise, and they are going to be a 80% close rate. How do we know they're at 80% close rate? Well, I'll be showing you exactly how to do that. But for us, that's just our close rate. I'm only hopping on a call if I'm closing somebody. That sounds pretty good. Too many people are taking 5, 6, 7 sales calls a day. And it's just not viable to run your coaching business, to create content, to help out your current clients, to sell more people in. It's just going to kill you at the end of the day. All right, so that's number one. The second is status. Always, always, always maintain status in the sales process, especially during the appointment setting process, as this will cause people to come to you. The moment you beg is the moment you lose a deal. Talk about this more. And number 3 is framing. I want the leads to actually know they're hopping on a sales call. All right. Let's say I have 3 book calls for the day. I want all 3 of those people to know that this is going to be a sales call. Because if they know it's going to be a sales call, it means they have high intent. They're looking to invest into something, whether it's with me or not. We only want people on calls who want to invest into their problems, into solving their problems. So that's number 3. I would much rather have a situation, somebody thinking, hey, this is a sales call, versus somebody thinking, oh, I'm just going to be talking to Brett to go over some strategy stuff. No, that's not the case. We want to sell people, we want to help people, and we want to do that in the most efficient way. This is how you have your calendar freed up. And you're not taking 7 sales calls in a single day to get to your $30K to $100K a month goal. No, you're taking 2, maybe 3 sales calls, and you know that at least 1 or 2 are going to close. So that is what we're aiming for here. With all ado, let's get into it. The first thing you need to know when it comes to appointment setting, and I'll be showing you how to do outbound versus inbound and the exact scripts here, but the reason why this works, appointment setting, or how to make it work even better if you're currently trying it, it's not working out, is you need an inbound environment. And an inbound environment is a strategically designed social media presence that naturally attracts and compels viewers and followers to seek you out, engage with your content, and initiate interactions without you going outbound. Like I said, though, I'll show you how to go outbound and turn it into an inbound conversation. And it all starts with having an inbound environment. Ultimately, what the inbound environment is doing is increasing your status. When your status is increased, it causes people to come to you more. Okay, think about jujitsu. The moment I start pushing to people, pushing them for an answer, is the moment they start pushing back. But if I take a step back, the other person's going to take a step towards me. So status is really important because you're essentially taking that step back. You're acting like I don't necessarily care about you, the conversation, whatever, right? And then it causes them to come into your presence. So we need to start to increase status right away, even before we message anybody. And we do that by number 1, profile optimization. You need a profile to be optimized for an inbound environment. In our profile here, we can see mine. What we're doing is, the diamond here. You want authority. You want to build trust. You need case studies. You need to display your unique mechanism, what makes you different in the market. And you need to have your status. So if we take a look at mine here, right off the rip, you can see 5 million in online sales generated, helping coaches reach sustainable 7-figure profit with ecosystems. So that's the unique mechanism. This is what differentiates me from everybody else. And then, of course, we have a call to action. You want to put that in there. But we have wins, some lifestyle stuff, and client wins. So these are going to gain trust. Lifestyle stuff is just showing more authority. This is showing authority right here. Really, really important, because whenever, let's say this is you here, whenever you message somebody, whether it's inbound or outbound, the first thing that they're going to do is take a look at your profile. If you are not building status, authority, and trust right away, then the DM's not going to go as well. You're going to be really playing a huge numbers game where you're going to have to send out 10,000 DMs to get like 50 book calls. To avoid that process, you need to instantly start to raise status. And this will also cause them to look at your content. They'll be nurtured as you're having a conversation with them. That's really important. Another secret thing that most people don't talk about here is on your stories, you want to be doing the exact same thing. You want to be showing your authority, building trust. So showing testimonials, showing your status, and talking about your unique mechanism. Because the first thing someone's going to do, not only they're going to look at your profile, they're going to click on your stories. So if you have testimonial after testimonial after testimonial on your stories, it's just going to work really well. Now, if you don't have testimonials or too many of them, that's totally fine. You just need the other authority building stuff, giving value, showing your unique mechanism and all that. But that's some secret sauce, because anytime somebody lands on your profile, the first thing they do is look at the stories, and having that there right away will put them into your environment, your inbound environment. Next thing you need on your profile is your pin post. Kind of the same concept here, but a little bit different. We built the authority, we built the trust with the stories and the way our profile bio is set up. Now we need to do exactly the same, but we need to also talk about our offer. Because just let's think about it. If I do an outreach to somebody completely cold, they don't know anything about me. They don't know anything about my offer. They don't know if I'm a trustworthy guy. So having some posts in the beginning to show all of that, what my offer is, why am I authority in the space, why should you trust me, is absolutely crucial for the conversation that you'll have in the DMs. So what you want is a pin post going over your offer. If you really want to look at it, check my Instagram out. You can see my pin post so you can create this yourself. You also want some testimonials, people saying how great you are. I have everybody tell me how great of a guy I am when it comes to business and helping them out. That's pinned. The third thing you want is an actual case study. You running through what you've done for a client, how you did it for them, and just providing pure value of how you took a client from point A to point B. And then from there, that's going to lead to more book calls and you getting more closes really, really quickly. Essentially, we're throwing people, a cold person into your nurturing environment as fast and as efficient as possible. From here, the second thing that we want to focus on when it comes to appointment setting is DM nurturing. The moment you take this perspective that you need to treat the DMs here just like a social media channel like Instagram or YouTube, the whole point is to nurture until they reach out to you, is the moment you start to do the right things in the DM. Okay? Gone are the days of where you give somebody a ManyChat lead magnet and then you hit them up expecting them to get on a call. If you do that today, you are without a doubt going to be burning leads. You do not want to be burning leads because we want to maximize the amount of people that are following us and the amount of money we could get from them and help them out. Stop burning leads. So take the perspective of treating the DMs like another social media channel. And I'll be showing you exactly how we do this towards the end. I'll show you how we make somebody super, super warm and create that inbound message, which is like, hey man, I want to hop on a call with you. I need to, get your solution here. I'll show you how to do that and how we treat that like a channel. But just for now, take that perspective. It will start to make you do the right things when it comes to messaging. Number 3 here is you need to treat your Instagram as a Facebook pixel. This is going to help out the quality of people that you see in the DMs. And if you don't know what a pixel is, or a Facebook pixel, and if you're not running ads, essentially it's just a line of code that you put onto a website, and then the line of code is taking data or information of every single person that goes onto that website, puts in their email or whatever for an opt-in, and then they're dialing in who that person is so that your ads can be shown to more of that type of person, right? The same thing goes for Instagram. Your Instagram is a database of your ideal customers. The moment that you start to have conversations with non-ICP, ideal customer profiles, is the moment your Instagram database starts to get ruined. So all we're doing is focusing on ideal people to message. And what we're looking for here is going to people's profiles, making sure they fit our description, right? Do they have enough money? Are they posting content? Whatever yours needs to be to make sure they're your ideal. Are they 35 years old? Whoever the person that you work with is. Are they a quality person? So we're looking for 4 out of 5s and 5 out of 5s. Meaning, if they're a 4 out of 5, can they pay for our program within 30 days to 6 months? 5 out of 5 will pay for your program in 30 days. So we're looking for those individuals so we can have conversations with them. When we have conversations with them, we're dialing in our Instagram pixel, and then it causes everything to work better. Your organic videos will start to be pushed out, to those people you're having conversations with, so they'll be nurtured. But then will get pushed out to a newer audience that looks just like the people you're having conversations with. I can't stress this enough. If you're not having conversations with only ideal people, you are killing your sales pipeline. Okay. And then also, if you're running ads, it just makes the ads more dialed in, because Instagram and Facebook, they take into account of who you're messaging, who is interacting with you, and they start to push out your stuff to those types of individuals. This is all really, really important for appointment setting. You might be asking, Brett, you haven't gotten into appointment setting yet. Without this in place, appointment setting is going to be a lot tougher. You need to have a dialed in Instagram. You need to be having the perspective as of now of treating the DMs like a nurturing social media channel, and then making sure you're dialing in your Instagram pixel with only ideal customer profiles. From here, now we can actually get into the process. A couple things with the process here. I need you to make 2 mindset shifts. Number 1 is status is king, and number 2 is always get closure. So I know I said we want to treat this like a nurturing aspect, and we certainly do, especially if we're going outbound. But for more inbound stuff, we want to always be getting closure. I'd much rather have a situation where the individual says no to me rather than keeping the conversation open, because then that allows me to focus my time on people who are actually more interested in paying for my services. So always get closure, and status is king. And the reason why I say status is king, I want to dive into this because this is so important when it comes to appointment setting. So unbelievably important. I've coached hundreds of other coaches on how to go about appointment setting. The ones that are messing up don't implement this, is the status part. Okay. You need to act like the cooler older brother that already has made millions or has already helped out 100 clients, even if you haven't helped out 100 clients yet. Because the moment you take your step back is the moment people come towards you. If you start to push up against them, be overly friendly, say how amazing they are, is the moment the conversation's lost. They don't feel like they should be talking to you because you have no status above them. You have no authority. It feels like they can't get anything out of you. Okay? So here are some messages that would be no status or very low status. That's amazing that you're doing $20K a month with an exclamation point. Changing that to a status message, it would be nice. $20K a month isn't easy. Can you handle more clients? Playing it super cool in the DMs. It causes the person to come towards you a little bit more. Here's another one. Let's hop on a call and give you the entire breakdown of how I can possibly help. That's okay. Little low status there. Make the person come towards you. Build that authority. Let's run a call and I'll see if it makes sense for my team to help you out. Right? They got to come to us. They got to meet us on our terms. Right? Let's just pretend there's somebody who is worth $1 million in front of you. This guy's worth $1 million. This guy's net worth is 10K. Do 1 million here. This person is going to speak so differently compared to this person. And when you're looking for help and this guy's playing it chill, super high status, be like, this guy's here like, oh, I can hop on a call on Sunday for you. And then this guy says, I don't necessarily do calls on Sunday. I spend time with my family. meet me on Monday at this time. You're going to be more attracted to this individual. Okay, that's what we want to be accomplishing here. The last example is, yeah, getting to 30K a month is a struggle, totally for you. I was once in your position. The status person would say 20K a month is a breeze if you know what you're doing. Okay. All right, so that's status. Make sure you always maintain that in the DM. This one thing here, if you could implement one thing from this video, it's this right here. The next thing that we want to focus on is pipeline priority. First thing is warm inbound. These are all the different directions that you can have conversations with, because all we're really doing is starting conversations. In order to get sales, you need to have conversations, and that is what we're doing. So we're opening up conversations, and the ways we can do that is from super warm people. If you're doing a story hand raiser, looking for 5 people who want to work with me this month, DM the word or reply with the word now, right? Something like that. Keyword in your bio. So if we go back to my bio here, we can see I have a keyword. Somebody messages you that keyword, they get priority because they're as hot as they can be. They are actively reaching out to you, looking to invest into your program. Next thing here is warm outbounds. There are different directions that people could come in. Is story interactions. So if somebody likes a story or even replies to a story, it doesn't have to be a hand raiser, just more so of something that you showed and they replied to it. Prioritizing that conversation becomes really important. Polls. One thing that I love to run is doing a story poll, going over, what is your bottleneck and getting like XYZ, right? And then you list out the bottlenecks, like bottleneck number 1, bottleneck number 2, bottleneck number 3. And depending on like what part they answer here, if you're doing a fitness offer, it could be accountability, nutrition, workout plan. Depending on which one they answer, then you can start a conversation based off of that information. That's a really good one. And they're a warm outbound because you are technically going to them first, initiating that conversation. That's the difference between outbound and inbound. Outbound, you're initiating the conversation. Inbound, the prospect is initiating the conversation with you. And then other places are like if they comment on a video, you can start a conversation there. If they like a video, you can start a conversation. Third thing is lukewarm outbound. So you're initiating the conversation. So you can do that with new followers, old followers, somebody likes to add, whatever. You're initiating conversation based off of some sort of interaction they had with you. That is why they're lukewarm and not completely cold, because there is a little bit of that interaction there. Last is outbound. And this would be a competitor's ideal customer profile list. So what we like to do here is go to our competitors, see the recent followers, and initiate conversations with our competitors' recent followers. Really great way to find ideal customer profiles. All right, now let's get into the sauce. How do we actually go about the DM setting process? There are a couple different tenets that we're bringing people through. In order to pitch the call, we need to make sure they're going through these tenets. Otherwise, we can't pitch the call. It's not going to work. We're going to get a lot of objections, so to speak, when it comes time to pitching the call. The first thing that we're doing, whether it's inbound or outbound, is just getting the person engaged. This is typically with an opener, and we just want a response and have a conversation. That is all we're trying to do. We're not trying to sell somebody right off the bat. We want to start a conversation. Sales is all about conversations because conversations lead to pains, problems, and then you can see if you can help them out. As far as openers, when it comes to warm openers, so these are people who are either inbound or, if we go back to our prioritization list, it is warm inbound or warm outbound if they interact with some of your content here. This is what we're typically doing. We're giving them an ultimatum in one of our messages. So what are you here for? Hey man, saw that you gave me a follow. Curious, are you here for looking to solve a problem, or you're just here for the, watching content and overall the vibes, right? Giving them an ultimatum. From there, we can see, if we can actually set this person, if they answer, hey, I'm looking for more information on how to solve my problems. Other thing that we're doing is giving away something for free, right? We want to nurture people in the DMs. The best way to do that is treat it like a social media channel. Give them a free video, a free asset, whatever it is. This will lower the guard of the individual, because I can guarantee you, depending on who you're targeting, hundreds of people are hitting them up every single day. If you come in there and be like, hey, here's a free thing. I saw that you were, looking into fitness. You're following some of my competitors. Here's a free guide on how to lose 30 pounds. Boom. All of a sudden, their guard is completely lowered. You gave them something for free, and you're building your reciprocity bank. That's really important. So those are some good openers. When it comes to a cold opener, the best that we've seen that has worked is a story reply. You want to find something that they posted on their story. This one here is actually a IG reel, and you can do the same here. Send it to them and say something about it. Just connect with them on some level. If you see that they're in Dubai, you can be like, oh man, I was just in Dubai last week. You there with friends. Boom. All of a sudden you're having a conversation, because that is the goal of the engaged tenant. We want a conversation. From there, we're going to, depending on if it's inbound or outbound, we're going to go into a transition. Transition typically happens on an outbound. With the transition, you need to find subtle ways to talk about their business or the problems that they're experiencing, depending on what type of coach you are. And this is finding out their obstacles. And you need to play 4D chess with your questions. If you're super blatant and up in front, like what are you currently doing in rev in your business, that's going to cause the person's guard to go way up. They're going to back off, and they're not going to necessarily want to have a conversation with you, because all they're thinking is the end scenario. This guy's just trying to get $9,000 out of me, right? What you need to do is present it in a more conversational tone. Just as if, I'm going to make another video on this, but if you're selling a B2B, you need to, if you're on a sales call with them, you need to have more of a conversation rather than going through the sales framework, because that person's just going to call you out right away. They'll be like, dude, I know what you're doing. Tell me about the program, whatever, right? You need to more so have a conversation. So it's changing this to the push to hit my first 50K a month was insane. You know what I mean? See how we're framing that a little bit differently. It's getting them to open up. They might say, no, I don't know what you mean, which will give us an understanding of where they're currently at, below 50K. Or they'll say, yeah, I know what you mean, which means they're past 50K. And that is a great way for us to find their current situation, their motivation and goals and obstacles, is having a transition like that. Because the next tenants are all of these things here. The goal is to figure out, are they qualified? We're going to introduce a gap or find their gap, see the missing links to it, see their needs, and then why they might need help. That is the goal of these next tenants. And we do that by finding the current situation, the motivation and goals, and the obstacles. We can ask them about that. If it's a warm inbound, you can be pretty upfront about this. If it's more outbound, once again, you have to play that 4D chess. You can ask questions like, hey, curious to know how many clients do you have at the moment? What do you think are your biggest problems from scaling out? What's the next goal for the next 30 days as far as ad spend, right? Having subtle ways like that to figure out these tenants. Without these tenants, we cannot pitch our call. But as soon as we have answers to all of these, we can pitch. And we want to have a suggestion. Put the ball in their court. Make them say yes to wanting to have a call. And how that typically looks like is, yo, name, looks like we can help you out. Are you down to hop on a call to go over a potential game plan to see if this makes sense for the both of us? Boom. All of a sudden, they are now going to have to respond, right? You give them permission to present the link. Okay, once they say yes, you're going to send the link, get the confirmation, and then have post-booking report. Okay, now we talked a little bit about inbound, the exact process that we need to go through in order to get book calls. It's actually really simple. Do not overcomplicate that. Make it as simple as possible. But here's the sauce. Turning outbound into inbound. Think about how somebody, a new viewer, a new follower, then eventually comes a inbound prospect. They reach out to you. What is that process there? How can we recreate that in the DMs? That's the sauce here. So number one is also taking that perspective of you need to DM nurture. Approach the conversation, approach the DMs like it's a social media channel. Number two is make sure you have profile optimization, because the first thing that's going to happen as soon as you contact somebody outbound, they're going to take a look at your profile. They're going to take a look at your story sequences. Then they're going to make a decision whether they should entertain the conversation. So you need those two things in place. Then you can start to truly treat the DMs like a social media platform. You want bottleneck assets or lead magnets, another word for it. And the way you want to do this is you need to know the pain points and the problems of your ideal customer profile. Then from there, you can give them clear lead magnets on how to overcome bottlenecks, right? You're sending them specific videos. It's almost like email. You actually need to treat it like email. You're sending your audience specific assets for their problems. And with the DMs, you can get way more specific about it because you can ask them about their problems. If they're on an email list, you can't ask everybody on that email list the exact problems they're experiencing and then email every single you could, but it'd take forever. But then email every single person a lead magnet. What you can do in the DMs is specifically ask for the problem, the bottleneck that they're having, and you have assets prepared to send to them, right? Hey man, saw that you're trying to run ads. How's that going? Oh no, it's not going so well. Boom, here's a video that we made on exactly how we spent $900 and made $30,000 in return. This will help you out a lot, man. And we send them that video. The video is going to nurture. They might book off of that video. They might start another conversation off that video. You are nurturing them there. And the way these videos are disguised as, secret here, is all mini VSLs. You need to have these as VSLs because all VSLs are doing is taking somebody who doesn't know you, doesn't trust, so no trust, doesn't see you as an authority, doesn't really know what you offer, 2, knowing you, trusting you, knows exactly what you offer, or actually sees you as authority first, knows your offer, and then you're good to go. They watch that, they're going to either have another conversation with you or book. That is the secret sauce. You're finding their obstacles that they're facing and you're sending them videos in the DMs like it's email, but a little bit more personalized. And that is how you turn outbound into inbound, because once they see those videos, they're going to end up reaching back out to you and be like, man, that video is amazing. I want some of your help. Now, if you want this entire thing completely installed into your business, go ahead and click the link below to book a call with my team and we'll see if we can help you out. Other than that, I'll see you in the next video.